And I'm going to draw some names. I'm going to draw some names. Who put their names in the bag? Show of hands. Okay, who's feeling lucky? Okay. Okay. What? It was $100 to put your name in the bag. Yeah, you didn't know about the $100? Neither did I. This isn't a real name. Julius Medina. Are you here? Okay. All right. Next. I got to get this done quick. I want to get this started. Judith with a Y. What? Oh, that's not supposed to go like that. Oh, you're Judith. Hi, Judith. Darian Engron with a smiley face. Okay, come on up. Come on up. You need ID. Darian, step over there. I was getting nervous, the first two. Edward Hashke. Edward Hashke. Is that Edward? He jumped up quick. Come on over to the side. Doug Pacello. Okay. There's a joke there. I'm just going to let that go, Doug. Ernest Kim. Right over there, Ernest. Sky Ra. I dated Sky in the 80s. That's another story. I want to get up. Sky Ra, are you here? Sky Ra, right over there. Whoa! Sky Ra's got a mini Sky Ra. Look at that. Wow. Oh, that was great. Okay, let's get this going. I'm ready to get this started. Marissa Rohr. Where's Marissa Rohr? No? Marissa, you were feeling lucky, huh? Wow, she's got the strut. Look, it's like I'm talking to Bashar. Crystal, does that say latte? McCrystal. That's a hamburger in Chicago. McCrystal. Nope. What's the total? Alex Dannon. Alex Dannon right there. One more. The lucky one. Nikita. Nikita. Oh, really? Are you serious? Right on. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Now check this out. I really got the power. This is how we do this. Check this out, for real. What's up, man? Daryl, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
I got to tell you, man, it's really great to see you. How you feeling today?
I'm great. I hope everyone there is also having a good time.
And this is the deal. As we get started, I'm ready. I'm just as excited as everybody else. But as you do this, for those that are here for the first time, Daryl, what do you feel as you make this transition? What goes through your body?
An energy surge. It's like falling into a very dynamic daydream with images and feelings and concepts coming very quickly in a telepathic sort of way. The entire information that is required to answer a question is there all at once in a split instant. but it takes just a few minutes to unspool and get translated into our language. The best way I can describe it is it feels like standing under a pounding waterfall of energy, and you guys are getting the spray from that.
This time, the spray won't be physical, which is really cool. What about the other side of this? When you come back and join us as Darylenka, what do you go through?
It's like waking up from a daydream. I'm a little disoriented for a moment because I have to remember actually who I am and where I am. But it takes me a minute to sort of reconnect. And then I'm more energized, and I'm often starving.
Now, a couple of things personal, but I think it's very interesting for the audience to understand how this plays out. Is this. You and I have done what we're doing now for a few years, right? And you and I have always been able to be backstage. We're alone. It's just the two of us. But I have seen the transition of the physical, right? Because I'm right there with the before and the after. And I think that for me to see this is an incredible. It's not. So anyway. This is my point. I see the transition. Later on in the evening, I have come up to you, and after, we're hanging out, dinner, and I have said, man, I asked the first question tonight. And you said, no, you didn't, and I wouldn't know, and I don't remember. Right? And for me, it was something that was surprising. Do you remember the evening? Are you able to go back and recall?
Sometimes if someone will tell me a question that was asked, I might get an image that pops back into my mind. Right. But when I'm in the altered state, it's like I said, sort of having a daydream. And if you're having a really strong daydream and somebody walks in the room and has to call your name 3 times before you even realize somebody's talking, right. It's like that. The conversation is very secondary to the experience that I'm having, and even while Bashar may be talking with you, I can actually be having a separate conversation with him about something I'm interested in. So I'm not focused. I know there's something going on, I know there's an interaction, but I don't really hear it, and after I come out, it sort of fades like a dream.
Okay, now I'm ready to get this started, but I've just got to ask one thing. We're in Los Angeles, you're in Los Angeles with us. Does Bashar have any predictions on the Super Bowl next weekend?
Yes, one of the teams will win.
Thank you so much, Daryl. I am ready. Are you guys ready? Okay, Daryl, you do your thing, and maybe you'll remember my first question, and I'm going to leave the stage. Thank you so much, Daryl. Let's do this. You guys ready? Let Bashar hear it.
All right, thank you guys for being there. I really appreciate it. Hopefully, maybe next year I can be there with you in person. For now, just give me a moment. Bashar will come through in a minute, and he will open it up to questions and answers. All right, so have a good time. All right, I'll say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? All right, thank you. We thank you for the co-creation of this interaction this day of your time. And in return for the gift you are giving us of allowing us to experience all of you, I ask, in what way may we now be of service to you? You may begin with your questions and dialogues if you wish.
Welcome, Bashar, and thank you so much for being with us
It is our passion and our pleasure.
My question is for the planet. I would like to know about time travel, and only because I feel that we have been in a 2-year vacuum of missing time. How do we explain a way to get out of this? And can we get into a new future quickly? Thank you.
All right, thank you. First of all, in a sense, you are always time traveling, no matter how it feels. But time traveling is not what your science fiction movies depict it to be. Everything exists now. In a sense, you cannot go back to the past because the past doesn't exist. Everything exists at the same time, so to speak. So when you experience what you call time travel, what you're actually doing is shifting your vibration to a parallel reality that is, in a sense, very similar to the reality you have shifted from, creating a sense of continuity, creating what appears to be a similar timeline or the same timeline, but you are always shifting. In fact, you are shifting through different parallel versions of Earth literally billions of times per second to create the effect you call time and space and change. So the idea is that you are never static, it is always dynamic. Once you understand that you're always doing that, you can gain more conscious recognition of the fact that you're always shifting into a parallel version of Earth, because billions of parallel versions of Earth exist simultaneously, since everything exists all at once. And all you have to do is decide how you will choose to experience those shifts, how much more aware you can become of those shifts, and how you can define what the next shift will be like by determining for yourself what is true for you. So you are always, in a sense, shifting through time and space constantly. It's just a matter of becoming more aware of the fact that you're already doing it and using it in a more conscious way to navigate yourself in the direction of the different versions of Earth that are more and more and more and more like the versions you say you prefer. And the way you do that is by following the formula that we have shared with all of you of acting on your passion to the best you can with no insistence or assumption of the outcome, staying in a positive state no matter what manifests, and allowing yourself to examine your belief systems and let go of the fear-based ones and the negative ones so that you can use those positive beliefs to navigate yourself in the direction of the version of Earth that you prefer. Does that answer your question?
Thank you, Bashar.
You are welcome.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
So the idea is to shift to the reality that we desire the most, right?
Please speak up.
So the idea is to shift to the desired reality that we desire the most.
Yes, you never change the world you're on.
Mm-hmm.
You change yourself, and that navigates you in the direction of the version of Earth that already coexists that is more reflective of the version that you prefer. But you do this by taking actions that are reflective of the kind of version of Earth you say you prefer. Because action is the language of physical reality. And as long as you are choosing to experience yourself as a physical being, it is the actions and the interactions that make all the difference, and the state of being that you prefer to stay in is what navigates you in that direction, yes.
Yes. I feel that I'm getting better at this, and it's the how do we shift to the reality that we feel we have a block. I know we are supposed to, you recreate your beliefs so that it matches, but it's the things that are the hardest for me to overcome, or the beliefs that are hardest to let go of or to recreate into the desired belief system.
But that just means you have to understand what that belief is saying to you. The only reason there would be any difficulty in letting go of beliefs that are not in alignment with your truth is you don't have clarity about what that belief is saying to you, and don't necessarily realize that other beliefs are making you think you have to keep choosing that one. When if you really pay attention to what the story is that you're being told by negative beliefs, you will see that they actually make no sense. And once they say something that makes no sense, once you hear them in a way that makes no sense, those beliefs are gone. Because allowing something to make no sense is not the beginning of letting them go. It's the end of letting them go because you don't hold on to things that make no sense. The only reason you would keep perpetuating holding on to a belief you don't prefer is because you have another belief that is making it look like it makes sense to do so, or you're afraid of the alternative because the negative belief is telling you that if you do change, something worse will happen. You have to really hear what's being told to you clearly in order to realize that there is no reason for you to hold on to something that doesn't work for you. Does that help?
Yes. Yes.
Does that answer your question sufficiently?
I'm gonna marinate on it.
Speak up.
Yes.
Speak up.
Yes, that helps. Thank you, Bashar.
You are welcome. This is all about learning how things work. What we are giving you as a formula is actually a description of how you are already creating your physical reality experience. So when you understand the toolkit, when you understand the tools you're already using more clearly, you'll understand how to work with them more clearly as well.
Good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I'd like to express my gratitude. You have helped me, I guess I could say I've helped myself, but through you, you have helped me, done wonders, through following the excitement, and I just wanted to express my utter appreciation. Thank you.
We thank you and our deep appreciation for allowing yourself to be yourself.
So, in following my excitement, last January around this time, I was led to try ayahuasca, a permission slip.
All right.
And it led to a synchronicity of me coming across this medicine, this sacred medicine, as we referred to it, from the Bufo alvarius toad,
Yes.
containing 5-MeO-DMT.
Yes.
And so I'd like just your overall perspective on the legalities of this. This isn't necessarily legal, but it's what I, in following my excitement, have been presented with to expand more of my consciousness and to help other people do the same. So,
All right. Now, I will answer you in two ways.
All right.
When we talk about the formula, we say, follow your passion to the best you are able. If you live in a society where something is not legal, that is not something you are able to do, because you have chosen to be in a society that imposes that particular limitation on you of legality. Unless you allow yourself to go to a society or a culture on your planet where it is legal, and that can be following the path of your excitement to do it where it is allowed. The idea is when we say the best you can, we mean you have to respect all the agreements you have made to abide by the morality, the ethics, the legalities of the society in which you have chosen to be. And that means that when you come across what appears to be a barrier, it means there is another path for you, an easier path for you. Look for it and find a way in which you can do it without violating the agreements you have made in the society you have chosen to live in. Otherwise, you're actually pushing against something that causes resistance, and that can muddy up your particular path of truth. So go with the flow of where it actually doesn't present any obstacle to what you have agreed to do. Those are the ways to look at the idea of doing it the best you can until you can do it no further. You have to use these tools precisely, and you have to honor the agreements you have made for the society in which you have chosen to live, so that you do not cause resistance in your own path. Does that make sense to you?
Yes,
Does that help you?
it does.
All right. Is that sufficient?
May I ask one more question?
That was a question.
Yeah,
Would you
no,
like to ask another?
I knew that was coming. Absolutely, absolutely.
All right.
So, forgive me if it's a bit selfish, but just any ET connections, I felt very, I just recently came from Sedona, drove from Texas about, 1,000 or so miles. I was just feeling very, prevalent energy. Your thoughts on that?
All right. Well, the Sedona vortex is connected to many different dimensions, as most vortices are. And the Sedona vortex specifically has the kind of reflective energy that magnifies whatever you bring into it. So the idea is that if you are seeking to understand your connections, awareness of those connections can amplify and magnify by being in that vortex. Almost all of you, especially ones who find us, have some connection to hybrid beings. Many of you have connections to the Sirius civilization, the Pleiadian civilization, ancient Orion civilizations, Arcturus energy, and a few others we're not allowed to discuss right now. But the idea is that, in general, most of you who find us and have conversations or are in our energy in these interactions have some connection in some way, shape, or form with the hybrids as well, such as my civilization or any of the other hybrid civilizations that were created to fulfill one particular part of the evolution of the Earth.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And one last question, if I may.
Oh, another last question.
You're good. All right.
Thank you.
So, A Course in Miracles is something that I've picked up recently as well. I studied
All right.
the workbook and channel material course, and I find no discrepancies with what you teach, and it's in a sense the same thing. What are your overall thoughts on channel materials like A Course in Miracles?
We cannot specifically endorse any specific source of information. We have to allow you to decide what works for you, because there are many forms of permission slips that will be in alignment with the belief systems you have, that you will attract yourself to, that will work for you. All we can simply say is use what works and leave behind what doesn't.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Amazing.
Good day, Bashar.
Good day, good day.
I have a question for you.
Oh, all right, thank you. I may have an answer for you.
I hope so. I started pilot training about a year ago,
Yes.
after giving it up for many years, and then got my certification. I had a desire to do it, but during the training I had a lot of fear, and I still have fear, even though I'm through the program, and when I start flying, I still have a tremendous amount of fear. Can you kind of give me some input onto that?
Well, what are you afraid of?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
I'm afraid of speaking air traffic control and flying the aircraft, and I don't know.
Well, what do you think is going to happen?
I'll lose control.
You will lose control. So your fear is of losing control, yes?
And not speaking properly at ATC and doing something stupid and run into another plane.
Oh, I see. All right. Well, that would be very exciting if you did
Yes,
that.
it would.
Do you trust the timing of your life? Do you trust the way your life unfolds? Yes or no?
Yes,
Are you sure?
50-50.
Thank you for your honesty. So the idea is you have already, in some way, shape, or form, arranged for the timing of your passage from physical to non-physical reality. In a sense, you have already chosen where and when you're going to die, because you will know when you're done with this particular adventure. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. So why worry about what may or may not happen when you know that if it is not your time, nothing is going to make sure that that happens until it is your time. And if it is your time, that's what you chose anyway, and you're going to go on to another non-physical adventure. So why do you care if it happens or not?
Okay, good point. Now I understand what you're saying. Yes.
Why not just enjoy what you're doing for the sake of enjoying what you're doing, because you chose to do that, to feel free, to feel like you could move around freely? You are sort of giving yourself an opportunity to feel a little bit more like a spirit by flitting to and fro. So the idea is, if you know that your timing is already set, why not just enjoy what you're doing without worrying about the idea of what may or may not happen, which then doesn't allow you to enjoy the actual action itself? Yes?
Very good. I think I got that. One more
All
question.
right. So,
Can I ask you one
is
more
that
question?
it?
No, one more question.
Yes?
About a year ago, I attracted a disease in my body, and
Oh, again, how exciting.
isn't that exciting? It's called autoimmune. It affects my arms, my legs, a lot of I have a lot of pain in my arms and legs.
All right.
I have practiced what you taught, and for some reason, it doesn't seem to be working. I've tried drugs. I've tried a lot of different changes in the diets.
All right, all right, all right, all right. When you say it doesn't seem to be working, you may be working the wrong idea of why you chose to have this or why you attracted it. Let me ask you this question. What have you learned that you may otherwise not have learned if you didn't have that?
Maybe focus more on positive thoughts.
Do you feel a challenge to do that?
I do. I have. Yes, I have.
Why?
I've always had a challenge to try to focus on positive thoughts.
Well, instead of trying to focus, why not just allow yourself to investigate the belief system that is making you think it's difficult to do so? Why not go to the underlying cause? Do you feel in any way, shape, or form trapped by your physical reality?
No, I would say that.
What would you say?
I'm concerned about knowing what I know, and I've followed the law of attraction in metaphysics for a long time.
Have you?
I feel I should be a little
Clear. The idea is to understand yourself, is to know yourself clearly. That's where the clearing needs to happen. Clear out the belief systems within a being that doesn't know how to be itself. Clear out the belief systems that prevent you from being who you are. And when you clear that out, you raise your vibration. This is one of the reasons why we encourage all of you to follow your passion. What happens when you follow your passion? You raise your frequency. What happens when you raise your frequency? You go to a vibratory level that is commensurate with new information, higher level information. And the information will come automatically because now you're on the level to receive it. Even your own Einstein said you cannot solve a problem from the level in which the problem was created. You have to go to the level where the solution exists.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes, I know, that's why I said it.
And so is it also true that we are highly manipulated in this reality at this time to forget this very truth?
You are not manipulated by anyone but yourself. But the idea of forgetting who you are is important in some cases because you have to remember who you are from a new point of view. That's what physical reality is all about. It's you being able to forget what you already knew so you can discover what you know from a new direction, from a new relationship, from a new perspective, because you see the structure of existence never changes. What changes is your relationship to it, your experience of it, your perspective of it. That's how creation expands. The structure never changes. So you create this experience called physical reality so you can have an adventure to discover something new about yourself, to know who you are in this new circumstance. Because in a timeless state, there is no change.
I understand. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
You
Really
are so
appreciate it.
welcome.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I know you don't do predictions, but do you have a theme or like an energy for this upcoming year that you could talk about, or what we can expect?
You mean the year you're in or the next one?
This current year, yeah, or next.
All right. Well, you said upcoming, so I assumed you thought you were in a different year. But the idea is, this is the year before the beginning of the window that opens for open contact in 2023. So the idea is to finish preparing yourself by letting go of all the belief systems and fear-based and negative beliefs that don't serve you, streamlining yourself down so that you become more essentially true as who you are, so that you can raise your frequency to the point where you can begin to experience the things that will start happening at the beginning of the window of open contact. Now, it will start slowly and sporadically and go for about 10 years, from 2023 to 2033, maybe 40 for some. But the idea is that new things will start happening, new understandings, new knowledge will come in that will allow you to understand more and more about your connection to life in the universe, that you are part of a galactic family. You have never really been alone, but you will remember this, and you will have experiences in your sociology and your political arena and your sciences that will begin to all aim toward the idea of recognizing that you are part of a larger family. So it's important in this year now to start streamlining yourself and raising your frequency by being your true self and allowing you to become a more sensitive antenna to receive higher frequency information. One of the new things that will begin happening in the window of open contact is not just about open contact with extraterrestrial or extra-dimensional beings, but contact also with spirit. Not only within yourself, but with spirits of friends and family who may have passed on into the spirit world. The barriers, shall we say, the veils you have set up, the separations you have created, the illusions of between physical and non-physical reality will really start dissolving when open contact begins. You will understand that spirits never really leave you. They are not lost. You can communicate with them and they with you constantly. So it will begin to break down, and you will start to see this, and are starting to see this in many of your published works having to do with what you call near-death experiences, shared death experiences, which we will be talking about soon, out-of-body experiences, spirit communications through mediums and such. This is another frontier that will start to open up to you during the window of open contact. So get ready.
Would you say, in the next 10 years that this open contact, this understanding of a larger family and spirit communication just will be understood by all, just won't be a debate anymore?
No, not by all, by those that are on that path. Remember, you never change the world you're on, you shift to another reality, another version of Earth that is already more reflective of the idea you say you prefer. Those that don't choose that will experience different Earths, and some of them may not contain open contact. It's up to you to navigate yourself to the versions that do, if you say that that's what you really, really prefer. So no, not everyone. Not everyone is on Earth for the same reason. And again, you don't necessarily remain on the same Earth. But you can decide what's true for you. Now, once you shift to another Earth that is more reflective of that, then yes, all the ones that have decided to go on that path may appear to be the entire population eventually of the Earth you're on. That doesn't mean that the population of the Earth you were on is there with you. They may be on another Earth.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, Bashar.
And you, good day.
I have one question, actually.
Oh, all right.
Are you inside or outside of our cosmic egg?
What are you defining as a cosmic egg?
The universe that we all exist in here?
Well, I'm in your universe, what you call your universe right now, but I come from a parallel reality universe that overlaps yours. So I have made a shift, and my scout ship at this moment, as it has been for a while, is above the area on your planet you call Sedona, Arizona.
Are you above or below the firmament?
What are you referring to as the firmament? There are many definitions of that word in your culture. We want to be specific in answering.
Okay. I would say in our flat earth community, or even in the Bible, it refers to a firmament over top of our realm. So I'm wondering.
You're talking about the idea of the spirit realm.
Sure. Now, so I'm wondering, are you below or above the firmament? Meaning, I guess, are you in the spirit realm or are you below that?
I am both. We have evolved in my society to the point where what we refer to as quasi-physical. We exhibit in our evolution traits both of spirit and of physicality. We are evolving toward pure spirit, but right now we are bordering both. We have, as you would say, a foot in both worlds.
That answers my question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
So I have a question about why humans, generally speaking, are so fascinated by the concept of prophecy.
Because, like a lot of people, you want to know what's going to happen, or at least you think you do. But the idea is that you are also becoming more aware of the fact that you are setting up your life, that you create the blueprint. You're experiencing more of the breakdown of the separation between physical and spirit reality, and so the idea is you want to know more about what it is you do from spirit that helps guide you in physical reality. This is why it's so important to allow yourself to have a really clear relationship with what we call your higher mind, your non-physical higher mind that guides your physical mind. You have laid out a kind of a blueprint in your life, but the idea is that you may be fascinated and think you want to know everything that's going to happen, but you don't really, because you don't want to spoil your surprises and your Christmas presents. So the idea is that you can have enough understanding of what you have laid out for yourself in general, but you're not necessarily going to allow yourself to know everything because you still want to have the aha moment of having a surprise that can change you and transform you in a very powerful way. But you're fascinated by it because somewhere within you, you know that you've set it all up. You know that you have the ability to lay out the blueprint of this life, and you are attempting, shall we say, to seek out what you know about yourself from a higher level. And that's what the prophecy is really all about. What are the probabilities I've set up for myself and which ones are more likely? It's a form of learning to navigate, and it can be very helpful for some, but it isn't always necessary for everyone. Did that answer your question, or is there something else you wanted to explore about that concept?
That answered my question perfectly. So
Oh, all right. Anything else?
that's all. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Remember, everything exists at the same time. The more aware you become of that fact, the more you might be aware of what's going on other levels of your consciousness. All of you are still in spirit right now. Spirit is your natural state. You never actually leave it. Physical reality is your spirit, a portion of your spirit, in spirit reality, having a dream that it's left, but you haven't.
Good day to you, Bashar.
And good day to you.
I'm deeply honored to have this co-creation with you. And
As are we.
I'm super excited, and I'm super excited because I choose to, and I choose to because I believe it will serve me, as you taught us.
Yes, absolutely.
So, first off, I just wanted to say thank you because I've been working, or I work as a therapist.
Oh, all right.
It has taken me a long time to find my occupation. It's been part of my theme of self-discovery within the theme of self-discovery that we're all here for.
All right. One moment, please. Please speak up a little bit. Number one. And number two, discovering yourself is your occupation.
It's tremendously fulfilling to help all the clients because I've noticed that
Yes.
we're all in it together. So I'm able to...
Absolutely. And the best way to serve yourself is to serve others because you're part of the whole too.
And, well, one thing I just wanted to say was, I'm not sure if I need to say I'm sorry or not, but
No, you don't.
I had a lot of success, so much success, and people say, well, where do you get this? And I say, well, a spiritual guru, master, you know, and that's where I leave it at. I don't tell them about the extra dimensional alternate reality thing.
Yes, but that's not the correct answer. You get it from you. We thank you for allowing us and others to help and assist and remind you, but the idea is that it all comes from you. Everyone creates their reality. So no matter how much help and assistance you may have, you still have to be the one to decide to apply it in your life. Therefore, ultimately, your success comes from you.
And that brings me to the point that I discovered is, and you always tell us, always look at the positive. There's a reason for it. And in my life, one of the themes was lost. Never feeling like I was actually living. And as I've come across your material and I'm sharing the material, you often talk about it as being an operating manual. And so I
Yes.
really see it as like a science of living, if you will.
Yes.
Which brought up the realization for me that I'm seeing reflected back in many clients as well,
Yes.
is the fact that I haven't really lived. And
All right. So that's a good lesson for you.
yes, it's been incredibly helpful because, so then, of course, I had to go to my own core beliefs.
Yes.
So recently I discovered there, and I wanted to see if this is one of the proper uses for it or not, but I felt like I was struggling finding my core limiting beliefs.
Yes, that can happen because other beliefs will do their best to prevent you from finding them.
And I think you hit it right on the head, because so one of the things I thought I would do is like, I thought, well, I'll try marijuana. And so I did, and it did put me in a different state, and all of a sudden I had a very powerful, something came to me, I had a big smile, and I came across what I believe is one of the core beliefs. And is that a clear sign, like you catch it red-handed and you end up having a big smile on your face? Is that a clear sign that, or is
What do you think?
I think so, yes.
All right, I agree with you.
And so, one of them was I'm not ready. In fact, I was just thinking that right before I came up here.
Yes, that's a big one in your society. I'm not ready, I'm not good enough, I'm not capable, as you say, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But you see, this is how belief systems work. Remember, physical reality isn't real. The experience is real, but physical reality is a projection of consciousness. It's an illusion, it's a dream that you're having as if you're truly separate from spirit. But you're not. You're having the physical dream while you're in spirit to explore an aspect of your consciousness. The only way you can actually have a physical experience is to create a physical mind. And the physical mind is generated by what you call belief systems. You have to believe something is true in order to experience the so-called solidity of physical reality. And there are positive beliefs, neutral beliefs, and negative beliefs. But they all have to perpetuate themselves and keep you believing that what they're telling you is real in order to continue to have a physical experience. Now, you don't necessarily mind the positive beliefs because they tell you wonderful things about yourself. You don't necessarily mind the neutral beliefs because they just tell you objective things about the reality that you have chosen to experience. The negative beliefs also have to perpetuate themselves. And the way they do that is to tell you stories that make it seem difficult to let them go. So they make you afraid of change. They tell you things about yourself like, I'm not good enough, I'm not ready, I'm not capable, I'm not loved, I'm not connected, so on and so forth. And all they're doing is attempting to get you to not let them go so you can keep having a physical reality. You just have to realize you have the key to change to a positive belief that will continue to perpetuate your physical reality, but you don't have to necessarily experience your physical reality as a struggle. So you can say, all right, thank you, negative beliefs, for allowing me to experience my physical reality. But while validating you for that, I have learned because of you that I can choose other beliefs that will perpetuate my experience of physical reality. And you don't have to choose to continue your physical reality through holding on to negative and fear-based beliefs. It's not malicious, it's just the way they're designed. You have to understand that and know that you can change them at any time. It's up to you. Does that help?
Yes, it does. It does greatly. On the beliefs thing, is it possible to have, I'm thinking of a client that has a really strong belief about being judged, but absolutely insists he doesn't have any ability or questioning himself. And I was thinking that's not possible because if you're 100% secure in yourself, then you would not worry about the judgment.
The idea is, again, when you hear things like that, you know that that's what the negative belief is telling. Because it's a very strong story that makes it unlikely that person will ever believe they actually have the ability to let that negative belief go. But you have to go from the motivational mechanism. In other words, what are you getting out of holding on to that negative belief? You actually choose to hold on to it because the negative belief has made you believe that if you change, something worse will happen. That's why you hold on to it, because it seems safer than the alternative. That's the motivational mechanism. You always, and this is without fail for all of you, you always hold on to what you believe serves you. You always move away from what you believe does not. So if you can observe that you're holding on to something that you know intellectually does not actually allow you to move forward, the only reason you would hold on to it is because the belief is telling you that the alternative would be worse. You have to hear that as a story that makes no sense before you'll release it. Because when you know that you're hearing a story just for the purpose of the belief perpetuating itself, then you can ask, well, why would I choose to hold on to something that doesn't serve me? What am I afraid will happen if I do make a change? And that's what will bring up what the belief in you actually is. And then you can see that when you look around the world and see people doing things that you may say you would also love to do, and that they're doing them just fine, well, the answer is, why not you too? But if you believe that you're different in a negative way and that something bad will happen to you if you go on that route, well, then you won't change because you believe that where you are is safer. So you have to really have clarity about what the belief is telling you, and you have to know that you're choosing to stay there because it's telling you that the alternative will not be good. Does that help?
I'm going to be real quick. I know we're running out of time here. Just these are, I think, pretty relevant. In the 15-minute transmission that you gave, I just wanted some clarification. You said I think it's 15 minutes to rewire the brain.
Yes.
And so if we're stuck at trying to find what's exciting for us, the next thing, let's say.
Number one, you are not stuck. Watch your definition. That's the first step in rewiring your brain, is to choose a different definition about what you're experiencing. I just told you you are choosing this experience based on what the negative belief is telling you to experience. So don't reinforce that by insisting that you're actually stuck. Use a different term. Use a different perspective. I am not stuck. I am choosing to stay here. Why would I do that? Now you have started the ball rolling on a true, honest self-investigation. But if you use words like I'm stuck, then it sounds like you're helpless, and you reinforce the inability to move on. So watch your language, watch your definitions. They can determine everything about how you experience something. That's the first step. That's what we'll give you to start with. All right?
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar. How are you today?
Perfect, and you?
I'm pretty good, thank you.
Oh, all right. Pretty and good.
Yay. My first question I would like to ask you is, the past few years I've been experiencing memory gaps where whole moments seem to be missing from my memory. And
Yes.
it's very frustrating, and sometimes.
Why is it frustrating?
Like, for an example, someone will come to me and we've had a moment that was very special to them, and I know it was very special to me too, but
Yeah.
I forget. I don't have it in my memory.
All right. Have you had yourself checked?
I mean, no.
Why not? Why not? I'm not saying it is anything, but it's possible that these things can happen physiologically in your nervous system. It would be perhaps comforting to you to know whether or not there's something going on in your physical reality that is causing this. Now, if there isn't, it can be for a number of different reasons that are all positive. But it would be wise for you to find out if there's something going on physically with you.
Totally. Just in the case that there is nothing going on, could you?
Then you can be allowing yourself to start becoming someone different who actually never had that experience with them.
That resonates.
Remember, in our society, in the way you mean the word, we don't have memory. We simply know that we will know what we need to know exactly when we need to know it.
Beautiful, thank you. I have a couple quick questions after that.
Oh, you remember them, do you?
Well, I wrote them down.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. What is your opinion on pharmaceutical enhancements for psychological disadvantages?
We cannot discuss health issues or your medical profession. It's not allowed by your society.
Can you
Again,
explain?
all we can say is, if you are honest with yourself and true to yourself, you can pick the permission slip that you know works for you. If it does, make up your mind based on the idea of information you feel is truly relevant, the data that you feel actually is true for you, and make your decisions. But we cannot advise you or endorse or not endorse anything of that nature in your society. It's not allowed.
And my last is, I feel as though I've been experiencing the phenomena of psychic vampires in my life, and I would
There's
like.
no such thing.
Okay.
Now, what you can do is recognize there are people of what you may call a lower negative vibration, but the only reason that you can feel what you're referring to as psychic vampirism is by actually lowering your frequency to match theirs. Why would you do such a thing?
Okay, fair.
Treat yourself better and do not lower yourself to a level that you know you don't prefer. In that case, you are the one who is the vampire to yourself.
Totally. Okay, thank
All
you
right.
so much.
You're welcome. Remember, nothing happens to you, it happens through you.
Well, it's going to happen through me right now, Bashar.
All right.
I need to ask for a little bit of time in our reality because I need to get some more humans lined up for some questions. Can you indulge me with 60 seconds? Can you take a little cosmic break?
Well, you've used up about 10 of them now.
Thank you so much,
ahead.
sir. I need John Pepper to step right over here. John Pepper. I need Nicolette Natrine to step over there right now. I need Alan T to step over right now. I need Justina S to step over. I need Angel Grease. That's not a real name. Angel Grease to step over. I need Adam Howard to step over right now. Let's go. There you go, Adam. And I need Veronica Kim, another fake name. Veronica Kim to step over. There's Veronica. Veronica, I apologize. I didn't think you were real. I need Carolina Zurita. Did I just damage that completely? Was that close? Okay. And if I may, Bashar, I'm back. I want to ask one question for the world, if I could, which is this. We, in our reality, in our thing that we have as individuals and what we see as a reality is also divided. We're divided with family, we are divided with friends, with co-workers, with countries, and we see this as a planet as our reality right now. What do you observe looking down on our planet and seeing this divisiveness and how we can friggin' get back together? How can we do this?
It is not one reality. You are splitting into several parallel realities, as we said. You're each navigating to a different version of Earth. It will not get back together. You will simply journey to other versions of people with like mind. So the idea is, it's not about attempting to cement it back together. It's about allowing yourself to recognize that different people are choosing different versions of Earth. You're in the splitting prism into different parallel realities right now, and it's becoming more and more obvious. But it's there as an opportunity to give you a chance to decide what you do and don't prefer. So make your choices.
Thank you so much, Bashar.
You're welcome.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
First, thank you so much for being a projection of myself and permitting me to know myself.
And you as well.
I've been spending a lot of time thinking about your concepts, and one idea that keeps coming to mind is basically that there's only awareness, and the placement of your awareness is basically everything. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, it is.
So if I continue to place my awareness on things that are preferential to me, do I need to even care about beliefs I have, or will they kind of fade away if I continually insist on the placement of my awareness being where I prefer?
It's not about insistence. It's about choice in terms of what you recognize as a vibration that is compatible with who you truly are. There is no insistence involved. It will become smoother. It may seem as if other belief systems and other choices fade away. The choice to choose them is always there, but a kind of momentum does build up when you stay on a positive path of positive choices. Eventually you will find that it actually becomes more challenging to choose the negative. This is what we experience in our reality. We understand the negative choice is always there, but we simply don't prefer it. And therefore, by having chosen more positive understandings for so long, it is now actually a challenge for us to go in the other direction. So it will seem as if those things fade away, but they're always there. Does that help?
Absolutely. I have experiences lately where I continue kind of the positive momentum, and it starts building, and I'll have a day where, just as you're explaining, it's like nearly impossible to entertain thoughts that aren't to my preference. I kind of float in and out of that, but...
Yes, and the more you do that, then even if what you call something that comes up that you don't find vibrationally compatible, you'll examine it and look at it from a different perspective and understand that it might be there for a reason that could serve you if you use it that way. That's why the fourth part of the formula, staying in a positive state no matter what happens, is so important. Because even if what happens is something you don't prefer, you have to know it's got to be there for a reason that could serve you. But the only way you'll know that it can serve you is by staying in the positive state that allows you to extract a positive effect from it. Even discovering something you don't prefer can be used positively, because you can say, well, now it's clearer by contrast what I do prefer. And that's a positive way to use what you don't prefer.
Yeah, when I'm in that positive state, I feel that and I go, oh, it's so obvious this is benefiting me. And then when I fall out of it, I kind of...
but you don't fall out of it, you choose to go out of it. And that's, again, the important question. Why would I choose to do that? What story am I being told by a negative belief that makes it seem like that's the logical choice? Find out what that belief is telling you. That's the purpose of discovering that. And then you will have more to let go of. And add that energy to the positive side.
I love that. My last
You never invalidate what you don't prefer, because it has served you to bring you to the point of understanding more clearly what you do prefer by contrast. So it has served you in a positive way. Remember, negative beliefs can still make positive understanding. Positive beliefs can still make negative understanding. It all depends on how you use it in either direction.
I love that. And my last question, if I may, is about fear. Sometimes I see the fear and I consciously recognize, all right, you're fear, but I recognize my excitement there. And people will obviously tell me their beliefs, which are contrary and reinforcing my fear. And lately I've been choosing to just walk straight into it. And I guess I've heard you mention before, you recognize there's nothing but more of yourself on the other side.
Yes, absolutely. What else can there be? You are your own universe, each of you. There's nothing in it but you. And you are all reflections of all that is. So you fill yourself up. There's no room for anything else in it but you.
Amazing.
Does that help?
Yes, I really appreciate you. This was amazing. Be well.
Hello, Bashar.
How do you? Good day.
I have 2 questions for you today.
Yes.
First of all, what is the most important daily practice you can do to cultivate self-love?
Follow your passion. Do you have a reason not to?
I don't.
And that would be the thing to work on that will allow you to experience more self-love. Follow your passion. If you have a reason not to, find out why.
Thank you so much. And my second question is, can you describe for me what sex is like in a non-physical body?
Well, obviously it's not exactly sex as you understand it. But it's more the idea of the overlapping and magnifying and amplifying of vibrational frequencies. It's quite lovely.
Thank you so much, and we send you so much love from San Diego with my crew. We watch you together in showings, and I'm so grateful for your message. Thank you.
All right, but I'm going to go back to your first question.
Okay.
Don't leave.
Okay.
Self-love. Many people find it difficult to give themselves this love. They judge themselves, and they say, I'm not worthy. All right. But you have to understand something very clearly. Creation doesn't make mistakes. If you exist, which obviously you do, creation needs you to exist for it to be all that it is. That means you will never cease to exist, because that which exists cannot become non-existent. Why? Because by definition, non-existence doesn't exist. So if you exist, you have nowhere to go. You will always exist. Now you may change your form, but you will always exist as a you. It will always be an experience you will have as you, no matter what level you're on. So, if your existence deems that creation finds you worthy to exist, why argue with it about your worthiness? Because I guarantee you will never win that argument. Ever. You will always exist, which means you're always worthy of your existence. So stop arguing with creation. That's the beginning of understanding how worthy you are of loving yourself. Did that help?
Yes, I love you.
Our love to you as well.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
My question for you is really about why, well, my question is, I feel like time moves so slow here on Earth. In the sense that I feel like I'm doing what, I'm positive, I'm manifesting, but things take so long to manifest.
All right, one moment. Anytime you talk about the idea of acting on your passion and end the sentence with "but," you're not acting on your passion.
Okay.
So the idea is, why are you insisting that you know the timing better than your higher mind, than your full self? Why are you impatient?
Yeah.
Because if you understand that what's happening now, right here, right now, whatever that is the most important thing that can be happening, and if you fully use it up, you will instantly move on to something else. But if you deny that what's happening is the most important thing that you could be learning something from, you will then feel like you need patience because you're waiting for something better to happen, when nothing better can be happening than what's happening right now. So that's what makes you feel impatient, is because you think you need patience because you're not living in the present and fully using up what the present has given you. You understand?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I was hoping you'd give some tips or tricks on how to speed things up a little.
If you were actually paying attention to what I just said, I just did. Because as I said, if you live fully in the moment and use it up, it will move on faster to something else. It's only feeling slow and stuck when you're not really using what is right here, right now, when you're not enjoying that, when you're not appreciating that, when you're not loving what's going on right before you, right now. That's what makes everything slow down until you get the point that what's here right now is what you need at that moment. So you have to get the point and use it up, and then before you know it, things will change. But if you are impatient because you think that something better should be happening right now, then everything slows down. Remember, it's only a matter of perspective. Time is your creation. It's a side effect of your shifting through different parallel realities billions of times per second. So when it seems like it's going slowly, it's because you're not really paying attention to what's actually happening in the moment.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now that didn't take too long, did it?
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I gained knowledge that I'm a hybrid mother, and I wanted to know what this means for other hybrid parents, and I guess our planet Earth.
Well, it simply means that many people have made an agreement to be part of the process of creating hybrid beings that will eventually come to live among you, that will aid and assist in the evolution of the Earth in becoming the 6th hybrid race.
And when are
Is
they
that a sufficient answer to you?
When are they coming?
Somewhere within the window of open contact.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Bashar. How are you?
Perfect. And you?
I am doing good. Thank you so much for having us. I have a question. 3 years ago, I was triggered by somebody in this room to my awakening. And after that point in time, I started feeling differently. I felt like I was an old soul. I astral traveled when I slept. I'd have dreams that I could remember that were vivid.
Yes.
And this information I wanted to bring forward. I'm in the healing arts. I'm a doctor. And so I've taken a lot of what I've learned during these periods of time and used that with my patients. And I feel like I've helped raise their vibration and awaken them.
Yes.
But I wonder, should I also be going back and focusing more on me? Is my purpose as a doctor to help everybody else, or am I cutting myself short when I'm doing this?
It's always important to take care of yourself, but why do you think that serving others doesn't serve you?
It does. Which is why I feel that I've done this as a career, in a choice,
Yes.
in a contract.
Let's look at it this way. Let me give you a little analogy. You understand the idea of a puzzle picture, yes? It's made out of a lot of little pieces that forms a big picture when you put it all together, correct?
Yes.
All right. Well, everyone is a different shape, generally speaking. And when you stay the shape you are, you fit with all the other pieces. So by serving others, by helping them be truly the shape they are, instead of the shape they've been taught they have to be, and letting them be their true selves, then you are helping form the whole picture that reveals the space that you belong in too.
Great answer. Thank you so much, Bashar.
You are welcome.
Hello, Bashar.
Having a good day.
So I'm going through a transition, like a lot of us all going through some sort of a transitions.
Yes,
and
yes,
I understand.
congratulations.
I understand the stay in that flow state. I understand how that feels. But
Is there a
sometimes,
thought at the end of the sentence?
but you know, it's.
I thought so.
Yeah, of course. But it's not really perpetual thought, but then there is this uncertainty somehow creeps into you, knowing that
It does not creep into you. It reveals itself. It reveals itself. This is one of the tools of following your passion, is the reflective mirror that reveals something within you that's out of alignment with who you are, so that you can figure out what that is and let it go. Finding those things within you is part of your excitement, not an interruption in it.
So go with it. Just feel it. Yeah.
When you find them, work with it, identify it, listen clearly to what the negative thing is telling you so that you can see that it makes no sense and let it go.
Totally makes sense. Thank you. That's it.
Yes, I know. Again, that's why I said it.
Bashar, I just want to say thank you, but in our timeline here, we just have 5 minutes left of digital connection. I'm going to try to stretch it to 8 because I would like to say thank you at the end of that. But in our timeline, this will be the last question.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar. It's a pleasure to meet you.
And you as well. Speak up, speak up.
So I talk to my higher self all the time, and my guides as well. And I feel like my higher self is not really talking back to me.
Oh, it is all the time, constantly. It's just that, remember, it speaks in the language of energy. And the way your body translates those messages from the higher mind is the sensation, passion, excitement, curiosity, attraction, love. So when you have those feelings, you know your higher mind is speaking to you very clearly. But you have to act on those things that it sends you that say, this is your passion. Because if you don't act on them, you're not responding to the higher mind in the language of physical reality, which isn't words, it's actions. But when you act on what the higher mind has sent you that is representative of your passion, your excitement, your curiosity, when you really move on it and act on it, then the higher mind knows you're hearing it. And it will then send you more opportunities to act on it. But if you don't act on what it's already given you, it's not going to send you more, because that would be pointless until you act on what it's already sent. You're in constant communication with your higher mind. You just have to recognize it for what it is. Does that help?
Yes, that does help. I have one more question for you.
Speak up, please.
How do you get others around you to also wake up?
You don't get them to wake up. You offer them the opportunity in whatever way synchronicity provides that says, this is a good time to share these ideas and teach them that there are other ways in which they can do things that might be of help to them. But whatever it is they do with the information you share is none of your business, because you're not living their lives. So you be the living example that might make them curious about, why are you having so much fun? How are things working out so well for you? And you can share ideas with them that tell them, here's another way to look at it. Here's another thing you could do. You can decide to do this too. But whatever they decide is up to them, and you have to let it go. And that's the most help you can ever be. You never know when they're going to understand that. Maybe 10 years down the road, they'll remember what you said or what you shared, and then it will click. But it doesn't have to. It's none of your business whether others believe like you or not. That's not your path. Does that help? Does that take the weight off your shoulders?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Thank you.
What a tremendous evening, and thank you for this. But I have to ask you a question, Bashar, if I may, which is this.
If you have to, yes.
Humans have a thing called laughter.
Yes.
And you make us laugh.
Yes.
Do those around you, wherever you are right now, do they laugh? Does the word comedy, you make us laugh. Do you know what
and you
funny
make us
is?
laugh all the time. It is very, very, very humorous to watch a magnificent, gigantic being such as yourselves try to stuff yourself into a very tiny box. So, it's very humorous. We understand that you are indestructible spirits, so we understand you can't really be damaged ultimately. But at the same time, we often find great humor in the ways that you twist yourself around to pretend that you're not what you are. It's wonderfully educational and very humorous.
Do you make your friends laugh?
They laugh when they choose to laugh. When something strikes them as humorous, they laugh. I don't make them laugh. I just be myself. If they laugh, they laugh. If they don't, they don't.
Bashar, thank you so much. We love you. This planet loves you. Thank you for everything that you have done with us. And if I may, do you have some departing words tonight for us that we can just think about in the rest of 2022?
It's very important for you on the path of exploring your consciousness and your spirit to truly let it be okay to be yourself. That's what you're here to be. So follow your passion the best you can. No insistence or assumption on the outcome. Stay in a positive state no matter what happens. Be willing to explore your belief systems and let go of the ones that don't work for you. It comes down to a very, very ancient phrase, even on your planet. Know thyself. And everything will fall into place. We thank you, our unconditional love to all of you. And we wish you good day. Good day.
Thank you, Bashar. Everybody, give your appreciation to Bashar and this wonderful evening, please.
How did it go?
You know, Daryl, I remembered everything, but you don't. So there you go.
Okay. Did you have a good time, everyone?
We had an amazing time. Did everybody have an amazing time?
All right. Well, I'm going to say I really deeply appreciate you all participating in this and being there. Thank you so very much for allowing me to do this for you. And I get a lot out of it too. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And I'll see you all in the future.
Daryl Lenka, everybody. 2022 Conscious Life Expo. I've been your host, Jimmy Church, for the weekend. Thank you so much, Daryl. Thank you for being the wonderful audience that you are. Now let's go enjoy the evening. Thank you, Daryl.
Thank you, Jimmy.